Welcome to Nadia's Kitchen Creations. This week I'm making easy and tasty quinoa. This is a great alternative to rice or pasta. Quinoa comes in 3 varieties. You can get white, red, and black. White is the most common variety of quinoa. So I'm starting off with 1 cup of dry quinoa and I gave that a rinse in the sink. You just want to make sure that when the water is coming through the strainer that the water is clear, and you're not going to have much problems these days because most of the quinoa, compared to even 5 or 10 years ago, quinoa was so dirty. It used to be full of rocks and sticks and you had to pick them out, and the water, you'd have to sometimes run it through for 5 minutes. Nowadays, quinoa is pretty clean and pretty free of debris. So generally, maybe you have to rinse it for a minute or two. Like I said, you just want to make sure that the water runs clear. So once you're finished rinsing your quinoa, you're going to put your cup of quinoa in a pot, put a little bit of salt to your taste, some black pepper. You can start with maybe half a teaspoon of salt and some turmeric, which will give it a nice color. And start with 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. And then I'm going to add 1.5 cups of stock. You can use vegetable, chicken, or beef stock. Make sure it's unsalted. We want to control how much salt we're ingesting. We're going to bring that to a boil and bring the quinoa down to a simmer. Normally I would keep it covered and just partially open, but for the camera's sake, so you can see how it looks throughout the process, I'm going to leave it open most of the time. And this process will take about 15 minutes. And really you shouldn't be touching it, but I just want you to see what it looks like through the process. As you can see at the bottom of the pot that the water is evaporating, but really there's no need to touch it. And so when all of the water is evaporated, as I'll show you in a second, see how the bottom is clean and dry? That's what you want to look for. So pull that off the heat. Pop the top of your lid back onto the quinoa and let it sit for about 5 minutes before serving, and that lid will keep it hot. This is how it looks after it's cooled down, which as you can see it does firm up. It's pretty soft. That's why you don't want to touch the quinoa right away. Give it 5 minutes covered off of the heat because it will firm up. It won't be quite as soft. And this is great for replacement for pasta, for rice. Use it as a base for stir fry, for chilies, and of course this is a great base for a cold salad. So I hope this helps you. This is just a little extra something instead of just plain quinoa. Why not give it a little something extra? Thank you so much for tuning in to Nadia's Kitchen Creations, and I will see you in the next one.